Hi, fifth grade. Please excuse my voice. I'm losing it and I'm coughing, so I apologize if I do any of those things in the middle of my flip lesson here. So our new literature circles are going to start in the new year in 2017. Can't believe it. They're all historical fiction books, and here are the choices. We all have selected what we are going to be reading, and as you can see, 2 of them are actually Newbery Award winners. I love all 4 of them, and I can't wait. They're all historical fiction, meaning they take place during a historical time period, during a historical event that actually happened. However, the main characters in the story are all fiction. So we're going to be deciding the difference between fact and fiction a lot while we're reading these stories. So I created this flip lesson to teach you about what I'm expecting from you for Lit Circle. You can always go back and rewatch this flip lesson whenever you have questions, or if you forget any of your assignments, you can go back and use this to help you as well. Many students did that last time around, and I thought that was very smart. So what I expect from you is that you come prepared, and not only are you coming prepared on your assigned day, you are doing your work to a 5th grade potential. Coming prepared means you need to have your book, your literature circle folder completed to the best of your ability, and make sure you have a pencil and you're ready to discuss and share. If you're sitting there and listening the whole time, that's great, but you also need to be part of the discussion and immerse yourself. You need to be using proper communication techniques, using eye contact with each other, not interrupting. You guys have been doing very well with that, and I do commend you on that. The leader, however, needs to take better charge. I find myself as the teacher having to take charge more often because the leader isn't taking control. The leader needs to take control of the conversation and keep it moving. I know it can be challenging, and if you need some assistance, that's why I'm there. But I want you to take on that role when you are the leader and try to do a better job than last time. This is a big deal. Students who are not in my group need to not interrupt the group or myself. I have my starlight on. That means do not ask me questions. You guys know that you can ask each other questions. You can ask your parent volunteer question. And I also have a flip lesson recorded on all of the stations for independent work. So if you have any questions about that, you should go right to that flip lesson to remind yourself what you should be doing. You're going to be graded on the rubric again, and here's the checklist that the leader will be using. I actually even added a 0, meaning that you're not prepared. Most of you have been doing a 3 or 4 job, but there have been some people that have gotten 0s because they come to group unprepared. The first day of group, you're going to know what day your group meets. It's always going to be that day of the 5-day cycle. So, what am I expecting of you? You must read by your due date. If you are not prepared for group, I am going to be not as generous about it. You will need to owe me time on the curb for not being prepared. You can work on it at home. You can work on it during independent work. You can work on it before school, after school. You have plenty of time to complete this. You need to be completing your assignment to the best of your ability, using good communication. If you are absent, it is your responsibility to find out what your next assignment is. Many people did not do that. And when the book is over, you need to have completed all of your assignments and the vocabulary and synthesizing sheet. So you ask me, what is that? What is the vocabulary and synthesizing sheet? Well, I'm going to show you that now. The vocabulary sheet for every single, sorry about scrolling up here, for every single book, you're going to have a vocabulary packet. And what I've done is I've put 4 to 5 vocabulary words that I've found in your text that I know that 5th graders might have trouble with. I have listed them based on the chapters. And as you're reading your assignment, for example, here's Caddy Woodlawn. Caddy Woodlawn has to read chapters 1 through 4 to start. So you will have to read your chapters, and you're going to define the words and write a sentence for each word for the ones for your assignment. So the first chapter is chapter 4, so they're going to have to find out massacre, cameo, abolition, aristocrat, and indignation. So there's enough space to do the definition and write a 5th grade sentence. None of this, there was a massacre. That would not be an appropriate sentence. You need to give more details than that. But every book will have their own packet like this. So for the first assignment, you do the first page. The second assignment would be the second page here. And I list the assignment at the top. So it's pretty clear, so you'll know what to do. You will also have to do the synthesizer sheet like before. I have a feeling that there'll be a lot to synthesize. You won't really know too much about the historical events and the historical background of your story at the beginning, but by the end, you'll be pretty much historical experts. Next, I'm going to go through all of the jobs for the Lit Circles because some of the jobs have changed. There are 6 roles again, like usual, and everyone will have a packet and will know what role you're going to be throughout each assignment. The first job is the leader, and that leader will also be doing the character study just as they did last time. The character study is noting the characters and their personality traits. Now, many of you last time around were having trouble coming up with characters toward the end, but you can always use the same main character. You might be finding new traits about that character as the book goes on. Things might change about them, and they might have different traits. You need to also make sure you support that trait with an evidence. If you say that character is brave, you need to show me how you know they're brave. You also are in charge of keeping the discussion moving and staying on task and making sure that every group member gets a better understanding of the text, as well as grading every group member. Again, I am in charge of grading the leader. The next job is a new job. It's a summarizer. Your job is going to be to summarize the main events of the assigned chapters, not of the whole book. Your summary should be no longer than a paragraph, so I only included this amount of space, and you really shouldn't go past that. All you should be having is who, did what, so what. What were the main parts of the chapter, and why are they important? That is key, to pull out why they are important. If you can't decide why it's important, then it probably wasn't a main event. The next role is the reactor. We had this one before. You're focusing on your emotional reactions while you're reading. What emotions are being pulled at your heart? Are you surprised, happy, angry? There might be other ones, but you need to tell me why you're feeling this way. Make sure you note the paragraph and the page so we can all go back. Also, you must give me your opinion of the text and the writer's style. Not everyone enjoys every writer's style, so I want to know why. Another job that is new this time around is the historian. It was very hard for me to show this on a paper, so maybe by listening to what I'm saying here should help you. The historian's job is to take note of any historical event, a historical lifestyle or trend, a specific person in history, or even details that happen in this story that you believe actually happened in history. For example, the story Boy at War is a story about World War II and about Pearl Harbor. And the boys actually go to Pearl Harbor and they're fishing. So one of the things I might question is Pearl Harbor a place that people would actually go fishing in? So I would put that as my historical background in question. Was Pearl Harbor a place to fish? And then I would have to find reliable sources, and we've talked about this in class, we've gone over it a lot, to verify this piece of information. So I'm going to have to do some research, find some sources, write them down, and then tell me what I found. Maybe I find that Pearl Harbor was not used for fishing, and then this part of the story was fiction. Maybe I found that Pearl Harbor was great for fishing. It was amazing. So then I find that this part of the story was actual, truly historical fact. I have 2 spots to do this twice, but if you want to do it more than once, you can, or more than twice, you can. It's completely up to you, but you're only supposed to do 2, but you may do more. The questioner is a role that we've had before. Again, you have to give 3 to 5 questions, higher level questions, Not like who was the main character, give me the why questions. Give your possible answers, but also I'm expecting your classmates to give answers as well. If you want to include the paragraph number as well here, that would be helpful. And lastly, the visualizer, probably one of the most favorite jobs of all. You must give me some kind of visual, whether it be a drawing, a digital representation. Everyone loves doing Minecraft, a Lego building, a collage. We have our iPads now available to us, so you can do these things. Make a visual. That can be completely separate from the literary devices that you list below. It's kind of like a two-part job. Your visual can be like a main event, a main character. It could be related to the literary devices, but doesn't have to be. And I want you to also find 2 to 3 literary devices. The authors that I've chosen this time around use literary devices quite often, so you'll have that happen. So I hope this tutorial gave you a good idea of how literature circles are going to go this time around with historical fiction. They're not too much different, but they are slightly. If you have any questions, please write them down so that you can ask me when your group meets the first day of Literature Circle, which will be the very first week of January.